We are live now. So, hi guys, this is Vishwas Narayan, the one and only Vishwas Narayan that I'm there here for you guys to just give out this session on Python Flask application on Azure. So, in this session, I'll basically be covering some techniques and some commands and some improvements where you can really understand, like, okay, Python app can also be deployed in this way. I'll not be showing you one method, which is through a Docker hub, how to make sure that a Azure web app is being deployed onto it, because I've kept it as a session for your Docker and security session, which is coming on 28th. And don't miss out any of the sessions from the AZ Dev India community, because it's going to be an awesome journey for all of you to learn something new. So, let me just go back to the slides of Community Hustler and let me just introduce you about like what is it all about. So, Community Hustler is basically an initiative where we from the Azure developer community Bangalore chapter is actually organizing it in such a way that we actually don't want you guys to waste the knowledge that you're getting, and it is actually going to help you build your portfolio as well. Also make sure that you get the best out of what we are teaching. Like it can be in terms of a new technology that we might be coming up, like in the 27th session, Shivam Sharma is also coming up with a session on cognitive services and other different technologies like ONNX, TensorFlow, and other things. So we don't want it to get wasted, and we just want you to make the best and the best use of it. So we are coming out with this initiative. First, just make sure that you are just going down, making a free account on the portal. $200 of credit, just spend 2 rupees. Just spend 2 rupees, everything gets sorted. Build something new from your side, try publishing it. And we will guide you for everything. If you get stuck, come back to us. We'll make sure that we solve that issue. Like recently, we did a session on Cosmos DB, and somebody had an issue with the Cosmos DB, and I could not do it, but I just guided him for some courses and some resources. Yeah, writing a CFP for a webinar that you want to give. I'll say you why. Because as soon as you build something, if you want to make it that it stays with you for a very long run, so make sure that you go there and just check out. Like I just want to deliver it all. So just come up with any talk, any topic. We are open for you. Just give us the CFPs. Reach out to us on the LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at any given place. We'll be there for you guys. So the pros of it, there's no cons of it. Cons is like if you are procrastinating and lazy, that's the con. Pros, you can add a project to your CV, make the best out of the learning that you get from the webinar that we host. With our guidance, you can also learn, and we can learn too with you guys. And we think of writing a research paper also. If you guys have some amazing topics, amazing way in which you are ready to elaborate what you had learned about, do it. We are also kind of an people who loves to write a lot of research papers and things like that. So yeah, we love to do that. So let me make sure that all of you are here. No, nothing in the comments. Comment section is here. Oh, all the hellos are here. Fine, then let me just go to the Python for Azure. So I hope the screen is visible to you guys. Yes. Python on Azure Web Apps is basically where I'm actually just trying to make sure that you completely demystify what an app service is, even though there is no VS Code extension that I can be showing you guys today. I'll be showing you guys through the Sublime Code editor. Like everything was done on the Sublime Code, and I think probably one project on Docker file was done. Yeah, I'll just show you guys everything about it. So, unfortunately, my free trial is also being exhausted because of my mindset of being explorer in everything. Like I just turned on with all the services, with like any services that I just really wanted. I just used to go there, make a resource group for it, and I used to just spin that instance out there. So I used to love that, and my free trial is gone. So I am now going out with a pay as you go model. And Azure for students, I don't have an university mail address, so I can't really do that. So I'm just showing you this just to give you a quick insight about what it can actually be also. This can also be a Flask application. This can also be a local hosted application which is running. And as soon as you just sign in with an account, you will get this. But I actually could do it on a VS Code, but many people had that doubt, like, can we really do it on other editors also? So that gave me a challenge, like I should use this as a tool. So I'm just doing it with it. So when you look at the development today, it's developed in chunks. We make some interdisciplinary calls for the development, like there'll be a front end developer, there'll be a back end developer, there are some full stack developers who knows everything about the things, there are DevOps people who are there. Of course, I feel somewhere, production has to be in such a way that it needs to be an accessible part to every person. Like there are some companies which have really given out production to all the people. Like there are some talks about how DevOps is not actually being implemented, because DevOps engineers still there, but like they are open to the production, and these companies have never gone to a stage where the production has gone down. So we make a software talk everything, even though we have the requirement of hardware. I'll come to this part of it later. And we are adamant to the fact that the development is based on the hardware. Like if you're a deep learning engineer, you use GPUs. If you are a data scientist, you still use GPUs, no matter what. And there are some edge deployment and things like that. There are ways in which you can go through it. So make yourself happy by just doing some Azure app services and things like that. Just go on and do it and delete it afterwards if you can, because it's not that costly in terms of like when you take VM as a service. Just because you just created it, you're supposed to pay the money for it. So I think it's the dumbest thing that anybody can do. But like even Azure web apps are quite costly. Like probably I just spun up some instances. It took me around like 100 rupees for like from past a week. It's manageable actually. So on premises, I said you all these development in the process, development and the things like that, and all these things, right? I'll say you what. When people were on premises, had the hardware, software just being done on premises, like this company is dedicated for this website and this software only. And I think this had a lot of things, but get to know this was always a priority. Like this stays in every process. I'll say you something as like IaaS, infrastructure as a service, had the same problem, but just reduced because there were not that often complexity that was involved as what you did with the on premises. So on the later part, PaaS came in, product as a service. Of course, there might be, I'm saying you, this is pretty huge. I've embedded a lot because there were engineers inside this, there were engineers that were hired for this and things like that. There are huge problem statements. But why I embedded it? Because of the reason that everything was organized by different engineers, and it was a problem statement of a team itself. So I don't think today with something like an Heroku deployment, Streamlit deployment as an PaaS service is product as a service development process. I don't think that you go on with the complexity of what you have with the IaaS, because that is what you do. So everything is being taken care by the company. They're just going to give you, hey, you can use this instances and you're supposed to pay me money for a month. Fixed rate. Even if you use it, you don't use it, you're supposed to play it. Even after scaling, you are supposed to play the overheads of it also. So serverless came in. This era was something new to every single person that was actually encountering problem statements. Like, you know, every time when the people used to think like, okay, we are supposed to be doing this, we are supposed to be doing that, then what? We had the same problem of architecting my application, right? Then I feel that we should only do it. So why are we hiring some private cloud vendors and things like that? So I think there are public cloud and private cloud. That's a whole new level of topics. Don't worry about it. We'll do it on a specific cloud-based session. So it all just boiled down to like which software to use, what should I be doing, how many engineers should I hire, and what should be my scale in which I'll be deploying. So things got very simple. So every developer develops in a chunk, gives an API call, monetize on a deployed model, but always be a data scientist. I'll say you why. Because when there is something wrong, you need to interpret the data. So data is the bread and butter, even if you are a full stack developer. Don't worry about it. So for a data scientist, he uses his favorite tools, wrappers, and he has to take care of the version control because every model will just get trained on a new batches of the data. And there is something called as bucketing of data, batches of data, and all these comes up. So version control plays a huge role. Tools, wrappers, everything still remains the same, but making sure that you make some right decisions make a lot of impact on your process of development. And then obviously model management, where it will also be inculcated with the developer's process. Like you can be full stack, hardware, software, front end, back end, anything. So now we just care about the running of an application. Then we are also thinking about how do we store the resources, because there's something called as an on-click monetization. Because every click on your mobile, every tap that you do is an penny to somebody. Like they can really make some decisions out there for every person. So this is what we care about. We care about running the application. We care about how we store the data. Simple as that. So you need to ask some questions before you actually just jump into any of the service. I'll say you how the service is also considered in the higher scale. Like how much control do I need? Like how much should be my thinking process that I need to when I am deploying my application. Developed by a software engineer, deployed on some hardware which is lying there in some data center out there. How do I do it? Because everybody wanted to just get to know where should my app run, like where and how to optimize the network and how to deliver the same user experience, even though the UI remains the same, but your application should never be this buffering. So you don't need that. What usage of model do I need? How can everybody have the same experience? That's what I talked about. And what should I take control of, and what functions do I need? SAS, PaaS, IAS, FAS, all these things are up there. So I'll say you why. How to architect my app? There are two ways in which you can architect your app, considering all these, your brain and budget into the consideration. So all time run the application, or that you don't run the application, just pay the money. That's where your PaaS and IaaS comes into the picture. But today there is something where, as per the execution, as per the requests have been taken, like you run as much as the code runs it. Like if you have written some triggers, that event logs, if there is an event log and things like that, you're paying for it. So somehow we have made sure that we have a lot of problem statement. There's Azure Fabric, there are other services like web apps, static web apps, container instances, Azure Kubernetes services. There are a lot of it. So how do you actually know it? So the factor still remains the same. Comparison of the option is based on the lift and the shift of the app on the cloud. Like I would just say, I just write some nonsense HTML code, like nothing there, just says hello world with an HTML. That is nowhere related to your production. But when you open it, it just goes on to the browser, it just opens it and says you that hello world. If you have written with an H tag, and it will become a heading and things like that. So lift and shift, like how much, even if the code has been like very bulky, there are some sprites. There are, if you're a Flutter developer, or else if you are into native development space like React JS and things like that, there will be something called as sprites. So sprites make a huge difference there, where the amount of compute required for computing even the instances of it is more. So lift and the shift of the apps in the cloud is something which is taken care. Simple apps with auto orchestration. Sorry for my typo here. O2 orchestration. Sorry for that. Apps with orchestration, simple with which can be run anywhere. So there are many factors out there. So all these are the platforms where you can use. So all kind of bias is down to you. So right now, all kind of jargons actually. Let me just reframe it. Why do I jargons or else what's that spelling, man? No jargons. I have my exam, so yeah, all these things happen. So APIs, REST APIs, web APIs, they are like the same chunk of code which has been compiled as one API where you just have the token, you just call it, and you just have that complexity of like, okay, reading the documentation and calling it. So SDKs are like software development kits, like your Python is an SDK, your Azure ML Studio is an SDK, where you are just going in and just grabbing in the amount of software which was being pre-built, leveraging it into build something new. So API have some endpoints and things like that. SDKs have something like where you call an API using an SDK. Things are simple. Tokens, IDs, IAMs, endpoints. IAMs are like access managers where you are actually looking for like who can really access it and who is also taking control of my application and things like that. So many more. So let's just do some demo out there. So now I'll go to my StreamYard and I make sure that I share my screen, entire screen out there so that you guys can see. Okay, am I visible to use my screen? Yes, it's visible. So let me just go to this application here. So there is a lot to be done here. So I just had some websites built. Like it's just very simple. Like let me just say you one thing. So yes, so let me just build something from the scratch. So let's just go to the command prompt. You just go here, type CMD. It's done. So AZ login is a command where you get access to it, and it goes to the browser and it will ask you for like picking an account and just make sure that this is done. Simple as that. So subscription added. So all these things are like pay as you go model. Yep, I'll make it big. So pay as you go model and all these things pops up. So let's just go to easy web app. If you're lazy like me and if you don't want to write too much of commands and you are like it's deployed on the Azure website, right? It gets something as a name with an azwebsite.net and things like that. I'll make sure that I'll send it on a short URL or something. This method is absolutely suitable for you. What you have to just do is az web app up. This absolutely gives you that leverage that you don't have to do anything. Wait, this .az .azure will be there and this config file will be hosted onto your folder right now. Even if you format your computer, if you still have all these files and you just go on and run something here, your AZ web app up is just going to be uploaded as fine as possible. So it takes a long time for it. So let me just explain you guys what this code was also all about. It's just a simple hello world code for all your applications. So very simple code, no complexity. I'm just calling a Flask. I'm just instantiating an app instance. I'm just calling app.root with an home folder where this is going to be the root folder for everything and nothing more, nothing less. And you have to make sure that you have a request.txt file up and running. Like it has to be there in that folder when you give this command to it. So it takes a little time, so let's just not worry about it. Let me just copy these two files itself and let me just go to another folder and let me just say Azure no requests request. This is fine. So this is still the same. No changes. Only the dot Azure folder is not being there. So what you just do here is you just go to the CMD Azure web app up. So AZ web app up is just going to run the same, but it's going to pop up with something like this. It shows you an error because there is no request.txt installed. So by the time it starts running, I will go here and paste it. This pops out to some GitHub link and it says everything. Okay, detected that .NET 5 app looks like there's no CS projects, or see here, Python does not detecting the existence of the requirements.txt. So this error pops up at every point when you just say that there is no request running here. I don't know why there is too much of uh, error here, but let me just do one thing. Agreeable. Agreeable. Oh my god. What is this? It's here. I can't do that. Okay. It started off. Oh, I don't know what really happened there. Hmm. Dot Azure. I think it should actually show me the pop up, but like, oh yeah, there is an this one here and Azure. Okay, let me just wait for a second. It will just come up with its own network and things like that. So it's now up and running. So let's just minimize it. Okay, let's just not make it even more complex. So let me just copy it. Just right click it. Simple as that in the command prompt. Paste it. Hello world. This is Azure Dev India. Thus stay tuned and reach out to us. That's what I wrote it there. Even here, I wrote the same thing. Even I wrote the same things here. So let me just do one thing in such a way that, okay, to us for more time, something like that. I just save it here. What I make is I still run the same app, but it still gives me the same website, the same thing, the same dependencies will still be there, but it's a new file to it right now. So what it does, it just reloads the same application with the new instance. Like, okay, this is what the changing made. I need not have to copy anything after it gets deployed, and yes, it should take less time right now. If this thing comes up, we are good to go. We are absolutely good to go. See how even the formatting also happened in such a way that it's just got that backward slash up and running. So it's still the same URL, so I need not have to worry about it. I just reload it. See, it just came up here and said that, hey, this is for you to reach out for more GAN. See, very simple as that, very, very, very easy, and you need not have to worry about it. All these are the same applications that I just did for the same thing. I think I need to run this because I'll say why. I just wrote some code for you guys to learn something on Flask. I'll be sharing the GitHub repo very soon, so stay tuned for it. Any questions, any queries? If everyone is given access to production, don't worry, Sandeep, you'll never be ruined. I'll say you why. There's a company called as Netflix, which has already given access to every person in the production in order to gain that access. So actually, they have actually come out with like zero like fault and things like that. Like it goes under a lot of process, but like production, you don't have to be in such a way, right? Yeah, you do have a valid point. If you give production to everybody, it will not be a feasible one. So build is up to date. Where did it get built? Yep. Oh, it's here. So Flask, it's up and running here. So you guys need not have to worry about anything. You just have to go here, just run the local files, just click on this very tiny, oh sorry, I just made it more. So click on this interrupt kernel button. It just works as smooth as butter. later. So I interrupt it, so that process is gone. If I refresh it, it takes longer time and it comes out with this can't be reached because there is no network and connection done. So here it is, and I think this is the one application that I'll be using right now. So let me just interrupt it. It will just run once again, and I just go here. See, I just did an iframe here. Don't worry, I didn't clone any website here or anything. I just did an iframe because I just wanted to do something. I just didn't want to give a simple application and run. Like, I just log in here. I don't know, with what I'm Vishwas. Let me just keep it as Vishwas. Some password, something. So, you know it pops up with all these because it's not secure and things like that. You can also add some applications through ngrok. Ngrok is something which is like, I don't recommend to all the newbies out there for the ngrok and things like that. So just don't go on with your ngrok. So these are some of like the meager codes, like, it's like the basic version of it. So I still have a lot in my GitHub, I think. So wait, where's my edge? Edge is here, GitHub. Uh, it's here right now. I'll be also Docker tutorial files, and there are some Streamlit tutorials that I just did for, like, I was jobless and I just did the same thing. Like, I just wanted to learn something new, people. So I just did all these things to stock app multiple. All these are like, I wanted to show you that PaaS, right? PaaS is here. PaaS applications are here. So it's tutorial, right? So this is an example of a PaaS application. Stock price, ABMD and medical one, Tesla, TSLE. ES. Oh, sorry for my type. Oh, I forgot to have that blank space. Sorry for that, you folks. Let me just go here and run the simple PaaS application, DSX or something. Yeah, it just comes out. There are some plots for it. You can do some analysis if you are a nerd like me, or else like you can just let it go. And you can also select the dates, years, and everything. So you can go here, some March 10th. Okay, so end date March 10th I chose. So what I'll do is I'll make sure April 15th. So there's a change in data right now. So see, this is just a simple introduction to some PaaS applications that we will be working in the future. Oh, sorry, I still had Sandeep on my screen. Sorry, man, I am the only person here in this session. All right, then let's just get in, people. Where is the folder? Too many folders, too many things. Okay, now I just I just wrote the same application in the same command prompt. What I do is Flask run, so it still runs the same thing. So you guys need not have to worry like what he's he doing. So 120, yep. It still is the same application. You log in, it still says the same thing. So don't worry. Sometimes in Flask, what happens is if probably you have done some changes, it still remains the same. What you do is clear all the caches and it will start working fine. See, all the applications, I just cleared my cache every time. Like, you can't do it every time, but if it's like too much of caching, like just remove it. It just works fine. So let's just go. Oh, sorry, just for fun, done and dusted with that thing. So what should I do now? All right, so okay, I'll just do one thing. So over the course of time, I saw a lot of cognitive services being there, but I just wanted to talk a little bit on how much is the potential of it. So I'm just going to use some cognitive services privileges here. So what I do is I just go here, cognitive service. Yep. So cognitive services here, all these are like and pretty good introduction to all you people. Like, you guys can just get in and have these cognitive services up and running. Like, I'll show you one. I think a face was not my favorite one. I think probably this is my favorite. So what I do is all this has been installed. So what I do is, yep. all these has been there. So I just go here, run this application for you folks so that you get to know how it is. So key, don't use this key. I'll be deleting the resource group. So if you try to use it, it will not be useful over the course of time. So it just start describing. So that's a description ID and all these. So these are just like the, actually I would just say it's a SaaS application kind of a thing where you're just using the software and nothing else. You're not worried about anything. So I think I should show you this picture of Sanam. There are a band of instruments played by some people, right? So oh, it just went like this. Fine. So it describes everything. See, like in a large room with a large chandelier and a fountain, and all right, text, person, scene, stage, pausing. See how it came in. So if I run this slide, it gives me the same thing. If I run, it's a group of man playing instruments. So the confidence is 0.54561, but it's like a very cognitive service. Like it's like it is describing everything that is happening. So what you can do is you can also do some application like that through the Streamlit apps where you can really go fetch the data, just make sure that okay, this is working, that is working. So yeah, you can really go on and unleash the potentials of it. Like these are some of the open source tools which are available. So you can just go in and get some insights of it. So guys can go there and check this out. So I think I had a website plotted for it. So don't worry, I'll be changing all the things up there. I think I forgot the name of the website. AZ. Wait, I forgot the EZ. Hmm. AZ Cogni something. I forgot that. I'll just unshare my screen so that you guys don't see my WhatsApp. So remove it from that. So where's my WhatsApp? So let's see. I don't know, man. More of these chats happen, but like I forget the places where we have actually taken the services. Oh, almost had lost my phone right now. Oh God. Oh, last I sent to Deepak. Oh, this is that application that I was running. Fine. Like, oh, yep, it's here. So you guys can go here, check this website that I just hosted. The same notebook is there, and you guys can use it. Run some new applications, run some new tasks. Everything is guided there, so you guys can just check it out. And so on. Let's just go on with our Flask application. All right. Oh, it's here. So there's a lot in Python to be unleashed, but like just go and run it. So let me just do the same method. Az login. I'll just say okay, login. It just goes and fetches me the same data. Blah blah blah. Did the same thing or got it. Easy web app up. Simple as that. Simple command ran very smoothly, and it's going to give me this application. So the one application that I ran locally will be ran globally through this URL. So you guys can just go and see it. So meanwhile, delightful. Where is this delightful? Yep, the same application which I ran here. So there'll be no difference. Don't worry about it. Even if it gets reloaded now, it still remains the same. You notice that, like, even like, sorry for keeping the screen so low. Notice that, all right, what really happened here? All right. Oh, I always lose this one. Sure, it's been loaded once again. So let me just go grab this URL, and you guys will have the same application up and running here, and you the same delighted.net Azure website, delightful.net, the same thing. It pops up. So I do the same thing like Vishwas still says the same thing. So this is how potential this entire machine is. So you guys can just go and just oh, I didn't share my screen. Sorry for it, people. So I just ran the same command and it ran the same application for me at one given point. So it's still the same, you guys can go on, reach out to some new APIs, new API calls, the web app services and things like that. And I think I should also show you guys one thing more. I will show you guys. Sorry for it, my only thing. Where's this Docker? Fine. Let's just do the CMD here. So, oh, before that, I'll show you guys the Docker file. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, no hassle of like, okay, what should be the code and all these things. See, very simple code. You just have this Python, runs on an Alpine with the 3.7 version. You just add from the entire application, you just add here to this destination folder. Actually, I will show you one thing. So let me just go to the CMD. Oh, sorry, CMD Docker run minus I. Okay, I should do images because I don't know the complete Kali version, what it is there, how it is there, and all. So Kali rolling. So Docker run minus IT here up and running. It will run, don't worry. So if you do ls, there are some file system out there. I can do mkdir add. So if I do ls, there is an add which is being added in front of the binaries and all these. So there is a new file system which gets generated at every given point of time. So you guys have to be very careful about like how to handle the file system in Docker and things like that. So it's basically a container which behaves as an quarantined computer. Like everything, it can be very wrong on your system, but this will be working as smooth as butter. Trust me. I got addicted with Docker. I have written around like 11, 12 articles. I'm not yet satisfied by writing those articles also. So just go here, just it's still the same thing. So what I do is okay, it's still up and running. Oh, sorry for my run. Okay, what I do is I'll build it minus T. It's basically tagging it. So Flask app, Flask, Flask app. Okay, let me just do a dot here because it's just still the same thing. So it just gets generated and it just moves on. So I'll be teaching you how to do it, but like you can also go on with already created one. So Docker images. I think I created this morning, 6 hours ago. Yep. So even if I tag it, it still runs the same. What I'll do is Docker uh, tag Flask app, right? Flask app. Okay, I'll show you the help. Minus help. So it says me source image, destination image. So what I do is Flask app, and I just add some new tag to it. So Docker images. There is a new same app which gets up and running here. So what I do is Docker run. Since I'll also say you one thing, since I've actually written an expose of 5001, that means from this container, this quarantined computer, there is an 5001 exposed to my computer also. So what I do is Docker run minus T minus B is detached mode, fine with it. So I'll write with the name Vishwas. So what should I do now? Fine. P5001 is to 5001. Notice that it still runs with the same intent of like Docker run minus T. It's detached mode doesn't work here. So Docker run options. Why is this coming up? So docker run minus t run. Oh, sorry, I can write this new. What happened? Wait. Uh, docker run. What really happened here? Wait. Oh, this is so big. Sorry, folks. Oh, there is already 5,000 port. Okay, there is error response with the daemon conflicts with the contain. Oh, there's one which was already there, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just think of it. So there's a port which is running, and what I do is localhost. All right, so what I do is 5,000. It came out with the same application. Look at that. This is how applications can pop up. If you do 5001, it will not be there because default to your Flask 5,000 will be there. So that's where I gave this 5001, and all these started running. So this is how people, Docker, everything can be leveraged, and this is it. So now let me just go back to this web app up, and I'll show you another last step in how to do this application. Then I'm open for the questions. So up minus SKU, and I'll take a free tar which is like B1. B1 is a free tar. SKU is basically you are getting the plans and you are deploying it. So what I do is name Vishwas Narayana 2345 at gmail.com is my Gmail, so you guys can mail me even in that application also. So there is no existence of this web app. See, now there's a web app which will be generated, and this is a Linux Central US one. Default, it just goes to the Central US one and it just starts building it. So just wait for it. The application will be up and running with this different name, but like I think might not conflict with the other things. So it's taking time. So meanwhile, let me just see if there are some questions. So Azure Cognitive, any questions, folks? Any questions? Don't worry about it. It will be up and running. It takes time. That's the only issue with that. Any question, folks? Like anything related to like, hey, how are you? Is also fine. So sure. Exams and these things, man. You can't give the best of it. So long time, man. It's so long time. But this thing really works. You can also go here in the portal. So there are other ways in which you can deploy an application, and yeah, so nice that there are 6 people. All right, up and running, man. Just come up and running. Okay, let me just see whether this instance is at least being run. Creating. Oh, okay, it's still creating. It's creating a web app right now. This is like the World Cup, which used to happen during the early days. Like, okay, there's a 6 spots, 6 runs. What's that? So, very funny that even today we are waiting for it. So, just come up very fast in such a way that app service plans, everything gets done by this. Like, everything gets done by this. Like, there'll be a resource group for it. It takes the central US resource group, that's for sure. I'll show you that resource group also here. Where is the portal? Ah, sorry. That's your portal. So, meanwhile, when there is that being created, I'll show you how this services also will be listed here. See, everything. Okay, I should show you this. This was actually done with a Docker container. It's actually there with this one. So some stupid app with the same iframes thing only. So I just did with this. Hope you guys like this also. So now let's just go on and see. Oh, it's very crucial right now. Anytime it will be up and running. So this is how, every time that you call in and things like that. So wait, I'll show you my subscription also. I think probably it should have it crossed above 300 right now. Whoa, 500. Damn, man. Oh, it's already crossed. Cool. Oh, yeah, I even used this Azure Databricks today. Like, yeah, Azure Databricks with Python. I'm actually coming up with another session. If you guys really want it, I'll be up and running with that session also. So it takes a lot of time, man, when there's a new application which is going to be built and everything. And you just need to just get to know what is really happening here. So I will no, yeah, there's an Azure Databricks here. Other services, cognitive services. Okay, I'll show you how the cognitive services also has to be created. Simple procedures still remains the same. Just go on and get it. Some services ask for the location of the service. Just go and put it. Yep, it's up and running, people. So I wrote Vishwas Narayan 2345.web.app. I think it should be up and running right now. So here it is. Don't take too much time. I want less space right now. And yeah, you know, see, agreeable. Vishwas 92345 just got. Oh, this is in the premium version too. I'll delete these two. I'll delete these two. I'll delete these two because I don't want to pay too much of money. Got mine also. This is my father's credit card. Oh, yep, it's up and running, people. The same vishwasnarayan.fi.web.app. It's up and running, the same application. So I'll be putting this GitHub repo and everything related to my demos here. This will be live even after the session, so don't worry about it. It will be live for you folks, and you guys can go and search everything and anything about it. So, yes, can we see backend code of Azure Cognitive Thinking? Services. Oh, you can't see the back end of the Azure Cognitive Services. It's all proprietary. They will be having some services. It's still an API. Get to know this. An API is just like a Lego. Somebody builds it in the chunks, calls those APIs through some tokens, IDs, IAMs, and things like that, and it makes some decisions. So simple as that. Keep this in mind. Any other question, folks? Any other questions? So if every okay, Sandeep is still there. Any doubts? Any doubts? Hi Deepak. Hi Karthikeyan. Hi Vivek. And any other doubts? No doubts. So don't worry, folks. You can reach me out back in LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And don't forget to join our community, subscribe to our channel in such a way that you get all the notifications that we are doing for the new session. So thank you, folks, for your valuable time and stay tuned for future sessions. Bye then.